Hey, in this video, we're going to discuss the differences between get and post. Well, so far we've learned how to read form data both with JSPs and servlets, and we sent data over using the get method. Now you also may have noticed that there's a post method, and you wonder how that works and how is it different from the get method. So we'll cover all the gory details of it here in this video. So just as a recap, what we've seen so far, we've sent data over using the get method. So we have our form action and we have method equals get. So that's the HTML form. Then in our Java servlet code, we have to override the appropriate method. So in this case, we need to override the doGet method because they're passing in a get request. So here in red, we have a request.get parameter. That's for reading the form data. And so we've seen this before, just kind of recap. Now let's move forward a bit and let's look at post method. So to send data over using a post, in our form we say form action, and then we have method equals post. So now in our servlet code, we need to override the doPost method. Now this doPost method has the same parameters as doGet. It has a request and a response. So for the doPost method, you simply read the form data by saying request.get parameter. So the exact same method call to read form data using post. Now, when data is being sent using the get method, the form data is actually appended to the end of the URL as name value pairs. So here we'll have the URL with a question mark, and then we'll have field 1 equals value 1. And with an and symbol, field 2 equals value 2, with another and symbol, and so on. And that's basically how form data is sent using a get method. Now, sending form data using a post method, the form data is actually passed in the body of the HTTP request message. So the request message has a body section, and the name value pairs are included inside of the body of the post method. So you won't see it in the browser's URL. All right, so you see all this stuff and you're like, okay, well, which one should I use? So a recap, the get method here is very good for debugging because you can see the name value pairs right there in the URL. You can also manually change them if you want. You can also bookmark the URL and you can also email it. With the get method, there's a limitation on data length, and it varies between browsers, so just need to be aware of that. You're normally safe with about 1,000 characters. Now, with the post method, you can't really bookmark or email the URL because the URL doesn't contain the data. Remember, the name value pairs are sent in the body of the request message. But a really nice thing about the post method is that there's no limitation on data length. So if you have a very large form with a lot of fields, you can send as much data as you want to. Also, the post method is very good for sending binary data. And you're probably wondering, what type of binary data? Well, if you do like an email program and you do a form attachment, you can attach a binary file to the form and then submit it. So that's one use case there for the post method. So my normal recommendation for non-sensitive data, you can use the get method. It's very good when you're first starting out with your application for debugging and so on. However, if you have some sensitive data, then I'd recommend that you use post data. So here, sensitive means that the post method can encode some of it. It doesn't do any real heavy encryption, but it will kind of encode it. So this is more of security by obscurity. But for full security, for full encryption, you would need to implement the secure sockets layer. But anyway, that's just a rule of thumb between the two. So get for very simple examples, post if you want to encode some of your data. So this basically wraps up the video. We discussed the get method and the post method. Hopefully this clarifies it for you as far as the differences between the two and then how you can use them in your application.